Welcome to the Squad Show. I'm Sam Ekstrom. Today we decide which former Viking, will vicariously live through in the playoffs.
Hey, this is Arif Hasan with WideLeft.Football. I am boycotting the playoffs.
What's going on, Luke Inman, at Luke_Spinman, Engage 8, Double Dog Blitz, 335 wide nickel. Hire me. I play a lot of Madden.
I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings. Neither Sam Darnold nor J.J. McCarthy are playing this weekend. Can you really say the Vikings made the wrong choice?
Skol! It's the Viking Squad. Everything Minnesota Vikings, every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the land of 10,000 lakes. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. It's time to gear up. The Viking Squad Show starts now.
What's up? Welcome in. Happy Thursday. It's the Viking Squad Show, streaming live on Locked On Vikings on YouTube. Audio available for free. It's on demand wherever you get your podcasts on the Locked On Vikings podcast feed. We do this every Monday, every Thursday here in the offseason. And today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. We've got breaking coaching news to address. We take you through Flores Watch in the opening segment. I asked the question, were receivers actually a weakness for the Vikings this year? And which former Vikings in the playoffs do we want to get behind? Also, our NFL playoff betting contest gets underway after Arif Hasan cleaned up in the regular season contest. Macho Meach, brace yourself. This is how we start the show.
Is he here?
He better be, because Will Reichard is the NFL Special Teams Player of the Month. Let's go.
Oh, what? Yes.
Yeah, it was announced a minute ago. So
amazing.
A perfect 12 for 12 in December, January on field goal attempts and on extra points. Made 3 field goals of at least 50 yards in length, giving him 11 for the season. In just his second season in the NFL, Reichard finished 33 of 35, ... et cetera, et cetera. We are pumped for Will Reichard, who is suspiciously not a Pro Bowler. Conspiracy at play.
It's the only snub I'm actually mad about.
That is like crazy because he was the best kicker.
Well, who got it? Who got the nods?
Aubrey.
Yeah,
Brandon Aubrey.
And most of the votes were in prior to the Aubrey v. Reichard matchup on Sunday night.
That's the problem with the system. I hate it. I hate the system so much. But also, Reichard was better than Aubrey before then, in addition to that. But that was...
The drop in what it means to be a Pro Bowler over the last decade, quite the fall. Quite the fall. Let's just put it that way.
Think about how much money the TV wires or the camera wires are costing Will Reichard. If he's a Pro Bowler, then he's got more negotiating
I was
power.
in on that, Sam, with you, and I still am, but you're just riding that till the very end, aren't we?
Yeah, never going to let it die. It is a perfect season with an asterisk.
It's going to be good like 7 years from now when we discuss like great seasons. We're like, hey, remember when Will Reichard didn't miss a kick all season? You're like, that didn't happen. I'm going through Pro Football Reference. 2 camera wires.
Stump the Schwab. What do you mean?
I'm suspicious of the camera wire on the Gary Anderson miss. I'm suspicious of the camera wire on the Blair Walsh miss. Surely those couldn't have happened.
So, speaking of Blair Walsh, so we got one. Can we say that? We got a kicker. We found our guy.
No, whoa.
Hey,
thank you.
Stop.
That's where I was going.
Do not do that.
Jesus.
No. See, nobody ever talked to Will Reichard. He should be the loneliest man in there. Let him just do his thing. Nobody touch him.
Yeah,
just like just a
Will
5-year-long, just
in
treating
the
him like
room.
it's a no-hitter.
The Reichard content in the locker room on VEN has been great. I gotta say.
When my dad was a kid, he and his brother were playing in the house, and they broke this little ceramic thing, and they were like panicking for how to put it back together, and they like glued it, and it looked horrible, and it was like a bunch of Scotch tape and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you touch that thing, it would collapse. You have to treat Will Reichard like that little statue of what I believe was a leprechaun. Don't touch it. Don't even
look
walk
at
by
it.
too
Don't
fast.
breathe on it. Don't even be in the same room.
Like, tiptoe past that thing. Like, nobody.
Kicker very much like a goalie in hockey. I announce hockey for a second living, and the head coach of the hockey team I announce for, this is the University of St. Thomas. He won't answer goalie questions, especially if the goalie is going well. He won't answer goalie questions because he doesn't want to superstitiously and
real.
like kill the mojo.
Sports are crazy, dude.
I mean, how quickly? I mean, at what point were we like, "Ooh, Blair Walsh, I think we got one," and then how quickly? I mean, it was just the playoff kick.
I mean,
where,
like Billy Cundiff was a good kicker till he wasn't. Like that happens.
Well, yeah, but it was like that. It was the season, right? Like I was such a Blair Walsh defender coming off of that game because he did score.
How could you not
every
be though? Kind of
point.
like,
well, no, everyone, no, dude. Most people coming out of that game hated him, and I was like, dog, he made like a couple of 50-yard kicks in weather that was so cold. The Vikings advised you bring styrofoam to sit on, right? Like he made every point the Vikings scored in that game, including a couple of 50-yarders. And yeah, he missed the 27-yarder, but like he provided way more
it's not his fault.
than the average kicker would have.
Tyler Loop had not missed inside 50 yards all year. And
I had Tyler Loop in Hell League. I never liked him. I knew he was mediocre.
You don't know what you have until those moments.
I'm just saying, Blair Walsh, this is the one example, I think, where fan reaction actually changed the outcome of someone's career.
This happens to kickers all the time.
I think if fans hadn't been like, Blair Walsh sucks, and he missed when it was clutch, and he has the yips, he wouldn't have gotten the yips if fans didn't prophesy that he would receive the yips.
Yeah.
It was coming. It was coming though. Like we saw this with Walsh in the year or two outside at TCF. It was already a little hairy. Like the extra point moving back was bad for him. And as Mike Kruger said, he tried to get jacked.
Got swole.
He lost all his power.
What was,
you can't change a single thing.
Should not change their bodies. And you know how NFL teams got sued for the way they treated cheerleaders? Like you weigh in at the beginning of the year, and then they like micromanage, and they should have been sued. It was correct for cheerleaders to sue the way that NFL teams micromanage their bodies. Actually, kickers should be treated like that. If you have a good season, you can't change anything about your body forever. And then
you've got to stay just a little bit doughy.
Yeah,
not too doughy, not like Ryan Wright, but
if you achieve the 10 for 10 while a little doughy, you are now a little doughy forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever
once you hit it,
when you have
that's your mold now. That's the
like
mold.
now you've got the formula. You can't change it at all forever.
Yeah.
Like drag racing.
You know what's in 2 days? On Saturday?
Playoffs?
The 10-year anniversary of the Blair Walsh miss.
Wow.
Oh, playoffs. Got it.
Oh, great.
Bud Grant. Okay.
And an NFC North game in Soldier Field. Maybe we could pay a little homage. Cairo Santos, what do you got for me?
Hey, come on, man.
I think it was Gary Anderson's 99 season like? Anybody? Just off the top of your head without looking at it up.
Well, it was bad.
Really
Billy
bad.
Cundiff was bad right after his big miss with the Ravens. Like this happens constantly.
No, I wrote articles back in the day for zone coverage. I wrote articles about kickers with career-defining misses actually usually melt down. A lot of them don't recover.
I think I've cited that article.
Awesome.
Locked on Vikings before.
It's somewhere. I gotta go find that thing. I gotta update it. All right, we got other breaking news. So Macho Meach, buckle up again.
He's not in the chat.
Possible opening for Brian Flores at the Miami. Oh no, probably not. The Miami Dolphins. He is gone. That's 8 openings. Maybe they're making the Harbaugh push because Harbaugh, since our last show, also fired. Now, a quarter of the league is open. And we also have, because of the Harbaugh firing, we have our first Flores interview in Baltimore. Concern level about Baltimore taking away our guy.
Reasonably high. That is an ownership.
Definitely a good idea for them.
Had a bad defense, need a better defense. Got the quarterback in place, appealing prospect for Flores.
While I personally don't like the owners of the Ravens, I think from an institutional perspective, that is what you would classify as a good ownership group for a head coach, right? First of all, they stuck with Harbaugh forever. It helps that he was very successful for a very long time. But that is a stable organization. You have faith that they'll continue adding talent. Now, the actual ability of Eric DaCosta, I think, is overstated, but whatever. They're still good, right? it doesn't matter how much you overstate how good the GM is. At some point, you've got a good GM. Yeah, I don't see how that would not be a very appealing job, presuming that you will not be verbally abusing your 2-time MVP quarterback.
I wonder if the odds have changed, because Flores, I think just yesterday morning, was like the odds-on favorite to go to Vegas for the head coaching job, and similar kind of what you're talking about. Like if he, I can't, and we can get into it, the Dallas rumors and things like that. I still think if he's going anywhere, it's for a head coaching job. And right now, again, like we've talked about quite a bit, like keeping in mind he's actively suing multiple teams in the NFL. Mind you, I think the landing spot has got to be where not just the owner signs off on him, but is actively like supporting him in his corner. So Baltimore, yeah, I think checks a lot of boxes there. I think Tom Brady and Mark Davis probably check a lot of boxes there in Vegas as well. But I know yesterday morning, I'll have to pull it up here in a second, but yesterday morning, he was the odds-on favorite for the Vegas head coaching job.
And the Raiders are interviewing Davis Webb, Matt Nagy, Vance Joseph, a DC, Clint Kubiak, Kevin Stefanski. I mean, they're going offense heavy, and then Vance Joseph in there, the one defensive representative. But Flores has not popped up on any of these lists besides Baltimore, and it only takes one team to make this happen. But the competition for his services is not. This is not a great competition here.
Hold on, is Vance Joseph? Is
he got interviews from like 4 teams?
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, your mind goes to, this is a Rooney Rule requirement.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, is Vance Joseph the only Rooney candidate for the Raiders? Sucks.
Flores was
don't you
plus
need 2 now?
150, so still not. I mean, the front runner, but not like a favorite. John Harbaugh plus 450, Clint Kubiak plus 800, Cliff Kingsbury plus 800. That a big drop off, but I think a lot of it going into, I think this morning, anyways, felt like we got to see where John Harbaugh goes first.
Yes.
Kind of like the
yeah,
domino
everything is
effect.
going to wait on Harbaugh.
Yeah. He's the big domino, I think, first and foremost.
Which
and maybe Stefanski number 2.
Maybe Stefanski number 2. Yeah, I think he's right.
Someone
there.
reported that
That's how I think it plays out.
that Harbaugh is close with Stephen Ross, I guess, in Miami. I forget who reported that, but
I feel like the timing of Miami firing McDaniel being after Harbaugh is like very telling.
because they fired Chris
I don't think
Greer,
they do this if the Ravens don't do that.
Yeah, they fired Chris Greer on Black Monday, and then they waited to fire McDaniel until after we got the Harbaugh news. So
yeah,
I don't want to jump around too much, Sam, and go off the rails, but if the Vikings, we've talked a lot about the defensive side of the staff, if they do switch some things up offensively, any interest in somebody like Mike McDaniel?
Certainly. Now, has he overlapped? I want him just for the press conferences. Has he overlapped with KOC in that tree yet?
I
Good
don't
question.
think
so.
I don't think so.
No. I think he was already,
Texans
because
before he was
O'Connell wasn't like
49ers.
in those Washington teams.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
he was Texans before he was 49ers or something like that.
Did O'Connell ever like play on a practice squad with one of those Texas teams?
The
But
reason I'm
McVay,
not,
so
the reason I'm not crazy intrigued by Mike McDaniel is I'm not convinced that his early success in Miami wasn't due to 1 or 2 gimmicks, right? And it's tough to kind of tell the difference, right? But like McVay, when he started out with the Rams, kind of had a little bit of a gimmick and then iterated on it, improved on it, adapted, right?
Kept going. Yeah.
Whereas like Mike McDaniel, I feel like a couple of gimmicks here and there, like, oh, an all-speed team, we're going to use this cheat motion thing,
Yep.
and then just didn't innovate or adapt on top of that. Like Chip Kelly with Philadelphia, not innovating or adapting versus what Brian Flores is doing here in Minnesota, where there are iterative changes in what you're doing, or Mike Zimmer before that, iterative changes in what you're doing. There's like a difference between having success for a short period of time and being able to consistently maintain a level of quality and success. So I'm a little bit worried that Mike McDaniel is not more than that. Obviously, when he was an offensive mind at San Francisco, there was kind of, more consistent success, but how much of that you wonder is Shanahan?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fair.
I like him as just a run game coordinator.
Yeah, he's
Which
actually a
would
really interesting run game.
Be
coordinator.
nice to have. Yeah.
But like, I
Someone in
think
the
he's going to be an
comments
OC somewhere.
I do too. I don't know how to pronounce your handle, but Faye
PHT is
You just
you
PhD.
comment a lot, and we love you. Wondering if they overlapped on the Browns. No, they missed each other by 1 year on the Browns and missed each other by 1 year on the 49ers. No overlap.
Institutional memory.
I just think it's part of the conversation, though. If and when Flores does get poached, like, who's our backup option now? Who's the guy that we all are banging the table for? Is it a guy like Jonathan Gannon, who's been here, has some history with the Vikings? I think that was under Zimmer, I believe.
Mike
Raheem
Pettenauer's.
Morris got fired. I'm personally not huge on Raheem Morris, but like, you don't want to be sitting there going, okay, well, not only did we lose our guy, but now everybody's gone already too. Like that's just kind of worst case scenario.
I'm super bullish on in-building promotion. Durante Jones, chiefly.
That would probably
someone who's heard the language, who's been in the meetings, who's been on the headsets, who can
just
do their best facsimile of a Brian
Yeah.
Flores defense. Now, I wanted to touch on the Ryan Fitzpatrick interview when he was doing his podcast with Whitworth, saying how he doesn't feel like there's going to be a lot of support for Brian Flores. Like, if people are looking for a good reference, they're not going to get it in Miami. Now, we've heard a lot about how he's become a better communicator in Minnesota, how Kevin O'Connell's actually kind of been a mentor to him as a coach. And there's also some weird stuff in Minnesota too. Like, early, if you remember this, there were multiple coaches that first year with Flores here that left. And I've got it on good authority that was Brian Flores related. Mid-season, Mike Smith and Chris Rumpf left that staff. Some other there were some other pretenses. I understand that was very
didn't
Flores
somebody
related.
take like a college job?
And that happened
this year.
And that happened this year too, but I think it did happen. And that might have been Chris Rumpf, who
I believe
he
Chris
might have been
Rumpf.
just trying to get away.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that is also part of this equation, is that we don't know how well he's regarded in these circles. And that could benefit the Vikings if he stays around. But I thought that was an interesting point from Fitzpatrick, that we're going only off of the resume here in Minnesota. Great resume, 3 years defensive coordinator, but there's more to the equation than that. There's the interpersonal side of it that has been questioned now numerous times, from his relationship with Tua, his relationship with the staff. Fitzpatrick going on record now and saying this stuff. I do think it muddies the water a bit for teams that want to hire him.
That makes sense. I'm also, I think, related to that, but a slightly different point that I think could be more relevant. One of the reasons that like Mike Zimmer took so long, to get a head coaching job, right? Like he was like rude in interviews and stuff like that, and that wasn't helping. But one of the problems that a lot of teams reportedly had with him is that he didn't have, people are like bringing these like binders of like what I would do were I the head coach of XYZ team. Here's my whole plan. I've got like a 5-year setup all planned out. One of the things that comes up in these interviews is, who would you hire to be on your staff? And part of the hiring process for a head coach is vetting who their most likely or most preferred candidates are for things like offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and so on. And
Unless you're the Raiders, and you just kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, and then and that presumes, or typically, when that happens, the head coach has already been in contact with the offensive or defensive coordinator candidates that they want to hire. Yeah. And if Flores doesn't have good relationships throughout the league outside of maybe just on the Vikings, which would suck if he started poaching like the Vikings defensive staff, not having a list that you're confident in that can appeal to the people that you're interviewing with could hurt your ability to win those interviews. So you could be a top candidate going in, and then they're like, well, who would you hire to be like on your offensive staff? And he's like, well, not Josh McCown. Like, that's not helpful, right?
Well, let's start here.
The Ravens are also interviewing Nagy, Kubiak, Vance Joseph, Anthony Weaver, Davis Webb, a lot of the usual suspects. They've got, and they've Harbaugh wasn't necessarily offensive, defensive. He was like special teams guy, right? Like
He was very CEO, very Mike Tomlin, Dan Campbell.
What question? Why is Matt Nagy getting so much shine? Like I've seen a bunch of insiders talk about him as a hot candidate, and then that's been validated by him getting a couple of and I don't get it. He didn't do a good job this year, first of all. But second, he was bad the last time he was a head coach, and we don't have a story about how he be. With Flores, we have like a story, right? Like he learned, and he's been a good coordinator. With Nagy, I haven't heard anything about. Which, don't get me wrong, I've when I was able to talk to them for the Super Bowl that I covered, being able to talk to both Matt Nagy and Steve Spagnuolo, pleasure to talk to. Oh my God, incredibly wonderful. So maybe he's like a good interview. Like, I don't understand why he's a candidate in the first place. Like, what did he do?
Two-Toed Sloth has the answer. He managed to make a Mahomes offense mid, which nobody has done before. Innovative.
It's true.
That's a good point.
Takes talent.
People maybe they just forgot about the first
forgot
time.
what he did with the Bears?
Or bored. Yeah. I don't know. I'm with you.
Was
it doesn't
anybody
make
watching?
any sense. I'd be shocked if he actually got hired. Maybe just going through the motions and going through the process.
I feel like with Flores, all of this stuff with like Fitzpatrick, and I mean it's the same story we've heard about Flores' time in Miami over and over and over again, just from a different perspective. And it's just like if you're the Ravens, it's something I'm going to ask him about. If I'm the Ravens, I'm bringing him in. I'm going to say, hey, this is what everybody's saying about you. What's your side of that story? How can I trust that you're not going to, blow up my locker room and get my quarterback to demand a trade? And see what he has to say about that. And that's just something else he's going to have to deal with. But if he has a good answer to that question, I think that can very much assuage that concern.
Also, if you're doing a super thorough investigation, you're probably asking about whatever it is that he got mixed up with the strength and conditioning coach that got fired this past offseason. There was smoke there too. Now, not necessarily confirmed. Don't know about the source, but there's smoke. There's smoke, and it seems like there's a lot of smoke with Flores. Let's pause. Yes, let's get to that on the other side. Yeah. Let's pause. I like the question. I see where you're going with it. We're also going to ask this question. Were receivers a strength or actually a weakness for the Vikings this year as we kind of start our year-end reviews on the Squad Show? Brought to you today by FanDuel. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game day, so that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, FanDuel users get a Profit Boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Open the Profit Boost pack first thing on game day, see what boosts you want to apply. The boosts let you lean into your game day instincts with your backing momentum, defense, quarterback play, coaching. You get more juice on the bets you already like instead of forcing you to bet something new. Love those multipliers. You make your picks, apply the Profit Boost, and go after huge payouts. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Grab your Profit Boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Squad Show rolls on. Locked on Vikings, always rolling on with Luke Braun. Check that out daily. 30 minutes of Vikings talk. All right, Arif, so the question in the chat, go for it.
Yeah, so Macho Meach, who did miss 2 iterations of the sound, so rip, asks, have we considered Flores is getting interviews to comply with the Rooney Rule and are not authentic? Always on the table, always a possibility. I think that would be the stupidest thing on the planet. This is a guy who is currently suing the NFL for having been subject to inauthentic interviews. So I would 100% not do that. I would pick Vance Joseph, right? I would pick somebody else to do that to comply with the Rooney Rule requirements, which, this is an issue with the Rooney Rule, the way that we're talking about it. But for the purposes of fulfilling the rule, I would not pick the guy that's already correctly, power to him, raising a fuss about having been, given inauthentic, false Rooney Rule interviews. I wouldn't.
He's like the snitch about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ravens also have 2 other interviees lined up with candidates that would apply for that. So I don't think that's the issue.
I would trust
and that's the only interview.
Joseph. So.
Also, we had
And
a
that's the
question.
only interview,
Burrito Bill. If the Steelers get bounced, Flores leaves, and Tomlin leaves Pittsburgh, could the Vikings ... I think we know how to fill in that blank. Could there be a reunion? I think Tomlin, like Harbaugh, would be immediately interviewed for openings, head coach.
No, for sure,
100%.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. How often?
But we got
has
a
this
pitch,
happened,
I think.
Right? This happened to Mike Vrabel after they won. Well, actually, did they win? They lost the Titans playoff game, and they let go of Mike Vrabel, if I remember correctly. But this doesn't happen a ton, right?
No, or it was Mike Munchak in Tennessee.
It was Mike Munchak to get Vrabel.
Yeah.
To get Vrabel.
To get Vrabel, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a pitch for Tomlin. I know we don't have a head coach opening to give him, but we do have a DC opening, and it's very relaxed. You can do your own thing, coach your defense, not worry about that. You only have to talk to the media once a week. We have a great smoothie bar. I feel like there's a pitch.
Wonderful smoothie bar.
Braun, you had a question.
I do have a question. I have a question for Arif and Sam because you guys have more experience in the media room. But there was supposed to be a joint presser with Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah today. It's been postponed, I think, to like next week. Is that weird? Should we read something into that?
So here's my answer, and Arif can answer as well. Keeping in mind that it's been about 2 years since I was in that building regularly. The KOC operation in the 2 years that I covered him did have some scheduling difficulties. It did seem to move around a considerable amount.
Okay.
Now that being said, that is more in the heat of the season. That is like, okay, we've got meetings here. We're going to push it an hour. We want to change up the cadence of the midweek press conferences. This is a postseason press conference that I think is usually pretty sacred. I can't remember if this has happened before, and does feel strange. It usually happens the week following the end of the season. And if it's not happening this week, then I think that's a little weird, Reef.
Yeah, so my first reaction to hearing that it was postponed was that it might be in deference to some of the events that are occurring here in Minneapolis, right? But it was postponed a week, which that makes me think it's actually not related to that at all.
And that kind of stuff hasn't stopped them before. If there's some kind of major political event, they would maybe come out, say a statement at the beginning of the presser, and then and then move on.
But yeah, and postponing it a week, I think, would suggest that actually that has nothing to do with that. I think most likely there an opportunity kind of came up that they didn't expect, right? In terms of like maybe a new offensive coordinator or something.
Maybe a new special teams coordinator.
Waiting for this coaching
again. John Harbaugh, smoothie bar, really relaxed gig. You can chill. You've been working hard for 18 years, John. You've been working hard.
Your nest egg's filled out. You've already maxed out your 401k. Just chill out for a little bit.
Just 1 year. Just one. I mean, you could go do the head coach thing for as long as you want, but you know what? Come relax in the best facility in the NFL.
Yeah. We got great smoothies. But yeah, I think that an opportunity opened up that they didn't expect. And so I think that they're evaluating that, figuring out what they want to do, whether it's special teams or offensive coordinator or something along those lines, before they hold that presser. Or maybe they didn't expect Flores to get the calls that he did. I don't know. But I think
what was the source on the delay? Just curious. Because I had not seen this yet.
I don't know. It was texted to me, so I can't.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There was one on the schedule today that is no longer on the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Okay, season end position reviews. Wide receiver. Was this a weakness? Was this receiving core with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison a weakness for this team? Let me lead with a couple stats.
Sure.
Dropped passes, number 1 or worst in the league, Jacksonville, 27. Number 2, Minnesota, 23. Jefferson and Addison, career lows. One of only 6 teams that did not have a 4th wide receiver catching 10 passes. Maybe speaking to a lack of depth, lack of developmental pieces, Ty Felton being invisible. Out of 97 qualified receivers, Justin Jefferson was 94th in passer rating when targeted. Jordan Addison was 82nd in passer rating when targeted. Jalen Nailor was 79th. Is this all a product of bad quarterback play, or did receiving actually let this team down, Luke Inman?
You got him while he was coughing.
Oh, no.
Good timing.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
speaking of
Yeah, that
timing,
was
quarterback,
incredible.
receiver, timing, chemistry. You know, we
Oh, what a save.
That was good.
we talked about at length, I feel like, Justin Jefferson, kind of the bar he set for himself, being regarded as, you know, a top 2 wide receiver in the NFL, and knowing the type of expectations we've kind of all grown accustomed to with him. Obviously, he did not live up to that bar this year, even despite the quarterback play. You know, there was multiple things that just, for his game, that kind of came up way short in a lot of metrics. Jump ball statistics, Sam, I know you brought that up. Dropping passes that he's never dropped before, so on and so forth. I think a lot of things, once we got past the quarterback kind of conversation and you know, obviously how detrimental that was to him and Addison and everybody else's production, still didn't excuse kind of the drop off in his play individually. You know, when the ball was there on time and, you know, a play was there to be made, and you know, JJ just didn't make the play for whatever reason. Having said all that, I think we all know the wide receiver production is always going to be tied right back to the quarterback play, and the quarterback play this wide receiver room got this year was beyond, you know, abysmal, just flat out. The timing, slow processing, bad pocket presence, bad red zone efficiency, accuracy, just throwing accurate balls. It was all bad, and obviously it all kind of negatively affected this wide receiver room, as shown in, you know, a lot of the stats that you just flung out, a lot of the rankings, bottom half, if not bottom third, and what I pulled out this morning, a lot of multiple categories in analytics. So I don't think the question has ever been like a talent issue with this wide receiver room, especially between, you know, JJ and Addison, even Nailor, who's a solid wide receiver 3 in this league. In fact, I remember before the season started, let me see if I can pull it up. PFF ranked all 32 receiving cores. The Vikings ranked 6th. And that included tight ends and running backs. So, okay, you got Hawkinson in there, you got Aaron Jones in there. I'm not really sure how much those two really moved the needle. Probably not dramatically, so probably still would have been top 10. But this wide receiver group, I feel like this year they weren't great. They didn't live up to the bar that, again, we've kind of grown accustomed to. Again, even taking out the quarterback play, but I just don't think you could really say that it was an issue or a weakness, though, especially when you consider JJ McCarthy, and not just him, but the entire quarterback carousel that wide receiver room kind of had to deal with this year. That's just tough for me to say. That's just
and I think we're all happy with Nailor's season. Nailor had some great big moments, held on to the ball. I think it's really an Addison Jefferson question. Did they leave meat on the bone, Arif Hasan?
If the question is if they left meat on the bone, yeah, absolutely. I think this was, I've said this before. I think this, Jefferson's worst year when you only look, you dispense of all the statistics, you only look at what he did on film, right? And I would argue that this was his worst year. But if you're asking, worst year
statistically too.
I mean, like, all in addition, right? Also, yeah. But like when you're trying to isolate, what the quarterback play did to impact those statistics, right? And what he did to kind of improve the level of performance of the offense, it was I think his worst year by any way that you want to evaluate it. It to me does not rise to the level of liability, right? It's just like these are unexpected things. Obviously, the Vikings being second in drop rate is not great. We've talked before about how much the quarterback actually influences drop rate. So it's not like a perfect statistic to kind of give us an indication of receiver quality, in addition to all of the other elements of receiver play that are not, drops versus catches. But I take a look at like rooms around the league that are liabilities, right? The Browns receiver room, huge liability. The Jets receiver room, huge liability, especially with Garrett Wilson, injured for a good chunk of the year. Outside, like before they found Parker Washington, the Jaguars room, was a huge liability.
Titans, terrible.
Titans were one of the worst in the league. The Giants, after, the neighbor's injury. Huge liability, right? And I think that's not the level of talent we saw from the Vikings receiver group this year, even though the Vikings receiver group was disappointing. We saw much more talent and much more contribution from the receivers to generating offensive football play. It was just, I think, primarily the questions that we're looking at statistically are the product of quarterback play, right?
Yeah.
I think that's mostly it. I wouldn't say it's a liability, but it was also the worst year in Justin Jefferson's career when you only isolate his performance.
Addison had the drops really bad. Thielen had the drops really bad in his limited play as well. And
Addison
Rondale
missing
Moore,
3 games as well too. Like that, that doesn't help your case there either.
That sort of thing is present in every season. Somebody's going to miss games, but Addison is like top 10 in the league in EPA lost on drops, and McCarthy is one. I think I couldn't find this out. I've been looking for it this whole time. But lost some of the most EPA on drop passes in the whole league. It's like top 3, I think.
I think I can find it. Hold on.
Okay.
Addison touchdown against, was it Dallas? Where
there were a couple that were like
Yeah.
long touchdowns that would have been these huge EPA swings, right? And then they're lost on drops. But like because of all of the other ineptitude on the offense, it makes it like hard to you can't blame the whole offense on drops. But you sort everything out. However you want to separate quarterback play from wide receiver play, you are going to get some level of the blame that is on a receiver group. I don't know if that means we can't say that they're a strength, though. I think we had a very high expectation for that group, which is something that they've earned, and they didn't live up to that expectation. But like the receivers were better at their job than like the O-line was at theirs, or than like the corners were at theirs. But we don't expect anything from the corners because they play cover 2 all day. We expect everything from these receivers, and we didn't get everything. We didn't get the consistency and reliability we want from them. So the perception's different, but like, yeah, Addison had the dropsies real bad. We got to deal with that. But Naylor had the dropsies last year, and he figured it out. Like, it's something that you just need to spend an offseason in front of the jugs machine and get it figured out.
So Magic Pineapple was asked if Naylor actually did hold on to the ball. He only had one drop. This year.
So I'm using FTN, or I'm using Kevin Cole's unexpected points, which relies on FTN data to calculate all of this. And in total EPA, so this is not EPA per drop or whatever, or per pass attempt. In total EPA, he's merely below average with 8 total EPA lost on drops, and I believe a lot of that is a product of the fact that a lot of the drops were relatively low depth of target compared to some of these other guys. So Trevor Lawrence, for example, number 1 in the NFL in EPA lost on drops. Jaden Daniels and Joe Flacco kind of right behind him there. Cameron Ward a little bit behind them. And Caleb Williams is up there. Jackson Dart is up there. Jared Goff is up there. Dak Prescott is up there. And then you get to J.J. McCarthy. So and this might be a different calculation if it's like PFF doing it, right?
Drops are so hard and they fluctuate so much charter to charter.
Yeah. And that is one of the bigger variants. Yeah.
If it's not perfect, does it count as a drop? Mm-hmm. I think PFF says no. It doesn't count as a drop unless that pass was perfect. If the receiver had to adjust for it or catch it at a weird angle, they're going to place that on the quarterback. But like not everybody's.
I think PFF logs it as a drop in their drop statistics, but they don't log. They grade the quarterback for it. They don't grade the receiver.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I thought they didn't count it as a drop either way. Well, I don't remember this
because I think I remember
years
this
ago too. It could have
changed. The Wes Welker drop in the Super Bowl was a big discussion. Like a lot of people are like, well, PFF shouldn't have graded that as a drop, and PFF was like, well, it's a drop, but it's like, Tom Brady's fault.
Let's break.
Des Bryant, did he drop it?
Yeah.
I want to ask it a quick one after the break. If we think Rondale Moore would have moved the meter at all in this passing game had he been healthy, and we also hitch our wagons to former Vikings in the playoffs. We're brought to you today by Rocket Money. Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming. Maybe it's the new year. You got some resolutions. You want to do a better job of this. Well, between subscriptions you forgot about in 2025, bills keep going up, inflation, trying to figure out where your money actually goes each month, you might feel out of control. It might be an overwhelming process to get that squared away when you're trying to hunt down every transaction, find the hidden fees. Rocket Money comes in here, the personal finance app that helps you take back control. It finds and cancels unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and lowers your bills so you can grow your savings. It helps you cancel those subscriptions right in the app. It's so convenient. I spent like 15 minutes the other day just trying to find out on one of my subscriptions, like where the credit card input was. How do I change where the credit card? I couldn't figure it out. Just wanted to throw my phone at the wall. But with Rocket Money, you can set budgets and goals, get personalized insights, etc. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right, back in the squad show. Arif laughed me off the stage. Rondale Moore, if you had an east-west threat that could separate and run a little bit, would he have been on the field?
Yeah,
I feel like that would have encouraged O'Connell's worst instincts.
Well, I was going to say,
yeah, man, let's do more throwback tunnel screens with motion play action, jet sweep.
Rondale Moore, I don't understand. If you had east-west separation, I thought we were talking about Rondale Moore, right? If they have,
it's not like there's a lack of speed.
Right.
All right. Well, Inman came in hot here. I want to hear what he had to say.
I was just gonna say they probably don't lock up the 1 seed, but 2, 3, 4, somewhere in that mix for sure. Yeah, and I mean, it's the offseason.
I think more gadgety gimmick crap is like exactly what they did. I'm glad they had one less reason to do that.
Well, no, I'll say this: if Moore had been healthy, they maybe wouldn't have traded for Thielen. They would have had like an extra 6th-round pick or whatever it was.
Yeah, they would have saved they would have saved themselves a Chris Herndon trade.
Yeah, yeah. So
another Will Reichard right there.
There you go.
There you go.
That could be like a Jaquelin Roy,
Well, with that thoroughly kiboshed, right? Let's get into Minnesota Sports Rank'em for the day.
This is Minnesota Sports Rank'em, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, and it starts now.
Former Vikings in the playoffs, ranking who you want to see get a ring the most. I gave you some big names. On my own time, I've actually got a couple funny lists, but we've got Hunter, we've got Darnold, we've got Thielen, Diggs, and plenty more kind of secondary characters on these teams. Who wants to take a stab? Who do you want to see get a ring the most?
I got a Hunter at the top of my list.
Hunter?
Yeah.
That would be mine
for me, and it always will be.
Yeah, because you're a Bradbury defender. And
I've got a brand
parasocially attached to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic Pineapple in the comments saying gotta be Ezra Cleveland. Love that, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard for me to say anything other than Danielle Hunter. I think Luke Inman's got it right, but like a part of me just wants it to be Sam Darnold, right? Because how who has better handled a 1-year stint with the team where they didn't re-sign him, right? Like this isn't like a Sheldon Richardson or a Za'Darius. Like this guy handled everything with class. Everyone didn't believe in him. He should have gotten a bigger contract in free agency than the one he did, which was still admittedly kind of big. He's been plagued by seeing ghosts. Something that had been repeated in week 18 and then in the playoffs, with the Vikings. And he seemingly has come out like his ability to, if he wins the Super Bowl, he puts all of that aside. What a wonderful story.
Think about this too.
The underdog from Orange County, Sam Darnold.
If Vikings fans aren't on board with him now, odds are he will get to face either the Bears or the Packers during the playoffs and have a chance to eliminate them. And Vikings fans will then get on board. If it's the Packers in the divisional round, they're on board. They are all Sam Darnold may as well
good
be
shout
in that game.
Good shout in the chat from Jacob T. Eric Hendricks, I believe, on the 49ers practice squad. And is going to be active for this game.
I got one more for you, deep in the well. 2022 draft for the Vikings, 5th-round pick. Currently playing for AFC.
Vidarian Lowe.
Wasn't he a 6th?
not Vidarian Lowe, but Vidarian Lowe also acceptable here.
Another
He
reason
was
to
a
root for the
6.
Patriots. Add Kyrie's Tonga to the Patriots list.
That's true.
That's right. Yeah.
The Patriots have a bunch
22,
of
fifth
kind of
round.
like, hey, I like that guy, guys.
5th
Yeah.
round. The other 5th round pick was Ty Chandler that year. This was a D lineman.
Oh,
Local
Assezi.
boy.
Assezi.
Assezi. Steelers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
Getting some
we
serious
go.
run over there. Yeah.
Luke, I
For
was
Gopher
like,
fans
Luke,
that need
Jess
an
Surratt was
excuse
a
to
third
play for
rounder.
Max
What are you talking about?
Come on, dude. Wake up. Come on.
For Gopher fans looking for an escape route so they don't have to be attached to Max Brosmer anymore, there's another Gopher for you.
What about Boy Mafe? Isn't he already?
Yeah, Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
You need the Gopher Viking thing.
Oh, right. No, yeah, that's fair.
Gophers
Yeah.
just
Is it-
flooding the NFL right now.
Yeah, it's kind of
The
crazy.
amount
I
of
think they
talent
like
just
win a little
flooded.
bit more if.
Is it a hot take to say that Adam Thielen is not top 3, top 5, or even top 10 on my list? He's you can't just
Top
do it
10 is
easily.
interesting.
Top
Sam.
10
I
is-
will say-
He
top 10
did
is
not
an
make my top
No.
5.
No, you cannot be a mercenary and just steal a ring like this. Nope. Nope. You can't do
Steal
it.
a ring.
You
I think
have
you
to do it the
absolutely
hard
can.
way. You have to suffer.
Hey, he
No,
got
no,
a, he
if
got a
Louis
nice
Dean
pass
can
there
do
up
it-
the seam. He got a nice pass up the seam.
Okay, if I remember correctly, did Bryant McKinney do that? Did he sign with the Ravens right before the playoffs, or was he there the whole time?
He had been there for.
I think
don't
he
think
was
it was right
there, was
before.
he
I think he'd
not?
been there
But-
for a minute.
Maybe I'm thinking of the next year.
In 2012.
If he did show up right before the playoffs, I would have been for it. I'm fine with some Vikings being mercenaries, but it's just the way Adam Thielen seemingly handled it was just like, all right, man, the vibe was wrong for that. Like, you know, if it was a guy where the whole understanding was that he was a mercenary, he helped out the Vikings in a big way, no hard feelings, didn't disparage the Vikings on the way, that kind of stuff, I'd be fine with it. Signing up right, like Eric Weddle signing with the Ravens right before he like doing that kind of stuff, I'm fine with, right? But I think the way Thielen handled it was just, and then also you'd have to cheer for Rodgers, right? Like it's just like the baggage of cheering for Thielen is inescapable here.
What do you think
I
those
got-
talk
right in-
about?
I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
What would be the content of that podcast?
Thielen and Rodgers.
Yeah,
Just made Arif dry heave.
Well, actually, I want the podcast of their wives, right? Caitlin and the
Right.
AI wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Madam.
Is that what we're saying because she doesn't want to be like publicly recognized and roasted
Yeah,
really
no,
hard?
that's- I've been
he
saying that for a
decided to do
minute.
it anyways.
Yeah.
Inman, you were in a fishbowl there. Try again.
Well, I was just going to say
Audio.
we missed an obvious one. Ed Ingram, Texans. I do have another
Yeah.
2022.
Daniil Hunter, their foreheading.
Yeah, Cam Robinson over there too. Yep.
Yeah.
I do have another 2022 draftee from the Vikings as well. In the playoffs, NFC this time. 4th round pick.
Okay, you said 22. Okay, I don't remember.
There's
the
only
last
one
one.
4th round pick, so if you look it up, you got it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I wish I knew it off the top of my head.
DB,
Why can't I
Caleb
remember?
Evans playing for the Panthers
right.
right now.
Of course.
That's right.
Oh.
Caleb Evans.
Inman
Alright.
poured over the rosters.
He's a guy.
Intrinsic Band MN asked, wasn't Thielen waived, so he didn't really get a chance to choose where he went? Kind of not. So Thielen asked for a release from the Vikings, and obviously it was after the trade deadline, which means he'd be waived. And in it, his specific request was that he would be able to go to a team that would be able to make it to the playoffs. And so I think the implied understanding was for teams that had no shot of making the playoffs, he would just retire if they had claimed him. So in a sense, he had some degree of choice. I do think it's funny that he ended up with the Steelers. I will say that is actually the one reason, more than even hating Aaron Rodgers, I wanted Tyler Loop to make that kick, because it would have been very funny if Thielen
Didn't make the playoffs. After
didn't
that.
make the playoffs after like that whole deal.
And he would have made it in Carolina. So he,
Yeah,
he
he would have
requested
made it in
requested a trade, requested a release, and missed the playoffs with both the teams he was on, and would have made it with the team he was originally on.
I got one more.
How about
I got
this?
one more. 2020
All
draft.
right, here's my one more. Here's my number
okay.
one on
Yep.
vibes. Josh Dobbs.
Oh,
Josh Dobbs.
True.
yeah.
Go Patriots.
Go
doubt.
Patriots.
No doubt.
That felt bad. I
Yeah.
didn't like saying that.
I've been big on the Patriots on Locked On NFL for like 3 months now.
Love the Pats. And the Pats were like
even
fifth favorite to
even
win the
after
Super Bowl.
their hellacious like week 18 news dump.
Well,
You know what you're talking about, but yes.
yeah, Stefan Diggs would probably be right
Oh,
below
that. Yeah.
Thielen on
No,
my
it's fine.
list.
Yeah, I love Stefan, and I think the Patriots kind of like stood up for him for a reason. I think that they think that he super didn't do it. But who's the other? Was it Christian Barmore? Was the other one? And the Patriots don't seem that excited about
Thermostat
what
gate.
happened there. Yeah. But I mean, like before Christian Barmore did this, the Milton Williams Christian Barmore combination was the best interior duo before Milton Williams got injured. They were fun to watch. Stefan Diggs, always a pleasure to watch do whatever he's doing, either on the field or off the field. Then obviously you got like Kairos Tonga. I don't know, man. There's like some fun guys. Joshua Dobbs, obviously. But man, it's tough for me to avoid the Texans. I just like, I would love for Danielle Hunter to.
Danielle Hunter, and I think
so
Eric Kendricks is so
underrated.
likable.
Yeah,
Danielle Hunter dealt with a pretty sticky situation in Minnesota for a long time. He was underpaid basically the entire time.
Yeah.
And I think he handled it with a lot more grace than he had to.
Yeah.
And
Nashawn Wright, come on,
oh,
Jacob.
true, Nashawn Wright.
Was that your vote for most improved? I'm doing the wide left awards, and one of the awards is most improved.
He was on
player.
there.
I think
he was not my vote. I think my vote was I think my vote was May.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Wide variety.
Who was your last guy? You had one more.
2020 draft, the Justin Jefferson draft, tons of day 3 picks. There's 2 4th-rounders on here as well, both playing in the playoffs. Any guess?
No.
James Lynch is in there somewhere, no?
That was not that draft.
James Lynch was that draft.
On the Titans right now. But yes, that is the James Lynch draft.
Oh, wow.
So it's the other two.
Yes.
So
they turned an edge rusher.
Oh, Troy Dye in LA.
Troy Dye in LA, getting some serious run with the Chargers. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Again, with his son Ty Dye. I just want people to know that his son's name is Ty.
I remember disliking all 3 of those picks.
DJ Wanham with the Panthers.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, the Panthers' record of acquiring Vikings edge rushers.
Also, shout out Rick Spielman. Apparently, guy knew how to draft NFL talent.
Late bloomers.
Pat Jones. Pat Jones gets a ring on that Panthers team too. He's on IR, but it counts.
Yeah. Stephen Weatherly's still there.
Metellus in that.
Stephen Weatherly's blowing glass somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both had that.
Would this be? Would you rather have the following offensive line or the one that we ended the year with in Minnesota? So School
with
Jackson, Jackson, Juergens, Fries, and Brandel.
What monstrous offensive line are you comparing? Is this the Chargers?
Or so the end of the year line, or the former Viking in the playoffs line of Quessenberry, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury. I'm going left to right across the line. Ed Ingram and Vidarian Lowe.
Wow.
I'm picking the Bradbury one.
Wow.
Of course you are.
I refuse to engage seriously with anything else.
Do we think Vidarian Lowe is better than Justin School? I think he might be.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Quessenberry, certainly.
Maybe not last year, but this year he's been better.
Yeah. So we got Vidarian Lowe over School. We would take Jackson above. Is it Quessenberry, the left guard?
Ezra.
This line?
Ezra Cleveland. That's
actually a lot closer.
I lean Ezra, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ezra. I didn't want to do that. That's interesting.
Like we are taking Bradbury over Juergens.
Yeah, I have to as well, unfortunately. As a not Bradbury defender.
Yeah.
And then the right guard is Quessenberry over. I guess I would take. Fries.
No, it's Ed Ingram over Fries. Quessenberry was left tackle, no?
Yeah, Quessenberry left tackle.
Yeah, I'm screwing this up. Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram, that's a tough one.
I don't believe the Ed Ingram thing. I never have this year. I'm sticking with Fries. I know he's taken a couple bad L's, but I don't believe the Ed Ingram thing. I think they got better at that position.
I mean, so this is those two out of all of the guards in the league might have the biggest difference between what my vibe is watching them on film versus what their PFF grades are, right? Like Ed Ingram is like 8th in PFF grade or something, like some insane what is going on over here. And Will Fries is like near the bottom. And I don't think Will Fries is a good guard. I think that Luke, I saw your video and I just don't agree with it. But he's not nearly as bad as that PFF grade. That is crazy.
Can I speak to that? Because like what has gone wrong on some of the high profile misses that he has, he plays like a crazy person. He doesn't get any depth, which everybody else on the line gets depth when they set their pass. They give themselves a little bit of space to let a D lineman like declare a direction. No, I think it's like a cornerback playing too far up, or like a safety playing too far up, and needs to give himself more space. And Will Fries doesn't do that, and maybe the injury part of it is he used to be a little bit quicker on his feet, and he's used to playing like that. Now he doesn't anymore, and he has to like be a little more humble. But I think it was the Leonard Williams sack that was probably the most famous Will Fries one. If you watch the rest of that line, they all get 2 yards of depth, and Will Fries just stays there, just totally breaks. It makes you work against stunts and stuff. He needs to get back. He needs to play a little bit more conservatively. And that is going to mean that a D lineman can, for example, like a defensive tackle, a quick one can, for example, like set up a big spin move or something like that. And it gives them the D lineman more time to set up too. That's the disadvantage here, but you get a little time to watch it, and you can kind of make it a little bit more of a, like everybody's cards are on the table and you can react a little bit more, versus if you decide to play this in a phone booth and basically quick set to everything, you're playing like a crazy person. But I also think the Vikings don't mind playing like a crazy person, because that's what Christian Darrisaw does.
Let's pause one more time. We've got playoff money lines to pick on the other side here on the Squad Show. We are brought to you today by Ultimate QB Football Legend. The draft pick positions are set. So many teams are looking for their franchise QB. Ever want to become a pro QB? Get drafted first overall by the Raiders? I don't know who would want that. Well, now you can. There's a mobile game just for you. It's called Ultimate QB Football Legend. In this game, you step into the cleats of a number 1 draft pick quarterback, and it's your job to lead the team to greatness, turn a failing franchise into a dynasty. So I guess the Raiders would make sense. This is the number 1 QB career mode game on the mobile app stores, and it introduces the most realistic environment with full career control. Sign contracts, train, upgrade yourself, build chemistry, work with your teammates. You get input to the GM. How many quarterbacks get that? You get a say in the organization. Ultimate QB is totally free to play. No ads. Works 100% offline. Perfect for when you want to sneak in a quick game or two on the go. Ultimate-QB.com. Ultimate-QB.com. Search for Ultimate QB in your app store. We've got something special for you guys. Use promo code LOCKEDON, all caps, in the game store. Get a free boost at the start of your career. Ultimate QB Football Legend. QB1. It's your legacy. All right, regular season betting contest is complete. Arif Hasan, the winner. You'll receive your reward soon enough. We have that planned out for you.
Now
it's playoff time. We will
Don't
not tell you.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't nice. Trust.
Oh, okay, you gotta have a better messenger than Braun here.
No,
it'll be something that you can put on the wall behind you instead of the 2x2 sound barrier grid.
I trust it even less now. Okay, great.
All right.
There's no prize, dude. We're still figuring it out.
Round 1.
Yeah.
I will invent new challenges every round. Use it where the bankroll.
Is this
it starts. Yes. You start at nothing, but I guess you start at 300. I guess because you get 3 money line bets, all flat $100 bets. You are trying to make the most money you can on 3 money lines in the wild card round. There are 6 games, 3 of us, so 9 total bets. You are allowed to double up once with someone else. You cannot have 2 overlapping bets. We will go in order of the winner of the regular season contest, which means Arif, Sam, Braun, Inman is the order.
All right, I will lean into the bit. I'm taking the Seahawks money line -210 against the Patriots. Got to trust Sam Darnold, right? How could you not?
Seahawks against the Patriots.
What?
No, that's
Packers.
Packers against the Bears?
Oh my
the
god.
Seahawks are not playing.
You're traveled into time. You're
okay.
in week 2
That's
of
cool.
the playoffs.
Whoa! You leaked the script.
Why did FanDuel give me that?
Interesting. Did he say Patriots?
You
said
probably were
Packers.
just looking at like Super Bowl matchups.
Babe, wake
Yeah,
up.
that might have been it. No, I was looking. It says Seahawks versus Packers on my notes.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
And you won last
It's
time?
the first one
And
they
you
gave
won
me.
this
Oh
thing?
my God.
Okay. Yeah.
Goodell is going to disappear you.
It's right here. Monday, 8:17 p.m. Seahawks Packers -210.
What?
What is
Minus
FanDuel
210.
doing?
I'm
Okay.
looking at FanDuel right now and seeing normal wild card lines.
Yeah,
I do
it's
see-
got
Rams,
I do
Panthers,
see
minus
Packers
3.5.
Seahawks
What am I
next
supposed to do with
week.
this? Okay. Are the Patriots playing the Chargers on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm taking them at -198.
you got it. Also, might have to dig to get the Panthers Rams money line because right now I'm
It
seeing
just came back up.
It
It
did.
just
Six-
came, okay.
minus
When I
620 or
checked it
plus
this morning, it was like
460.
-670, right?
I saw what you were seeing, Sam. It just popped
Yeah.
back up.
Oh, really?
Okay, but when you scroll down, you
That's
see
okay.
it, right? You see
I see it.
Packers Seahawks.
I don't.
I don't.
Packers Seahawks. I got it.
I do not. All right. I got my first pick. It's going to be the Packers. Got to bet the Packers. -116. I've called the Bears fraudulent forever, so I got to stick to those guns. Packers -116.
Yeah, the Packers are not fraudulent. That's a good call, Sam. Dude, they benched their good quarterback for this game. Are you sure, Sam?
They threw us off the scent the last 2 weeks. They'll be fine. Braun.
I am going to take the other Patriots. I can do that, right? I'm going
You
to
can
double up
take
the
the
other one.
Patriots.
Yeah, I'm taking the other Patriots one. That feels like this is a really hard round to predict, and the Patriots feels like the only one that I believe in.
Well, I'm not limiting. Inman could take the Patriots too. I could take the Patriots. We just can't have two. No one can have two overlapping picks.
Yeah, I picked the
So
Patriots.
like 2 out of your 3 cannot overlap. So it's okay if
if
everybody has one.
I thought you meant that the overlaps were limited to 2.
Yeah, so did I.
among
Okay.
the 4 of us, as opposed to
Oh,
yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
I
I
don't
see
know
what
if
you
that
mean.
works out or not. Maybe that-
individually, one of us has to have one unique. Okay, got it.
Mhm. Yeah.
and yes, to
Okay.
to questions in the chat. Yes, I'm all in on the Pats this year. If they lose, I die. It's fine.
Great. I hope.
2 picks in.
No, I can't hope that. I just,
Texans -164. Steelers, obviously, a little emotional hangover coming up. -164 Texans. And then for the bit, we're back, baby. Jaguars
Let's go.
-106.
oh, let's go!
For the bit, we're back.
It's like an even money game. It's an
That's
interesting
incredible.
I'm a little disappointed.
Josh
It's got
Allen,
plus
first round
money
exit.
here. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but
It
-106.
should be plus. What's going on?
one. Yeah, they're plus 1.5. I don't know
What do
why
they
the
know?
money lines
What do
are
they
like that.
know?
What do they know?
Yeah,
That's,
well, they know less than Arif knows, I think.
yeah, apparently.
Braun.
Okay, but like Inman saw the Seahawks
I see
Packers
it.
game on
Yeah,
the
you
feed.
just keep scrolling down. January 18th. Yeah, so they're just predicting if the Packers win. There's also Bears
me.
Eagles on here too. I mean, there's a ton of them.
It's great.
Are you in the hypothetical tab? Divisional hypotheticals?
I'm on
Sorry,
an
just-
offshore
I just
account.
clicked on NFL
Um,
and scrolled
no.
down. So wait, is FanDuel spelled with a 1 at the end
Yeah,
of the
.org.
FanDuel 1? Isn't that
FanDuel.co/
Yeah.
Creed thoughts.
I'm sorry, I'm at
.tor.
sportsbook.fanduel.ca. Is that
Oh, the Canadian version.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Braun.
I guess I'm going to take the next I don't know what's going on with this Rams-Panthers game and why it's so heavily favored to the Rams. Like that feels like the craziest home underdog in the playoffs
Carolina.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In Carolina. Like we've seen, King of Poop Mountain NFC South teams, and I don't think they've ever been that long of odds. I don't get it. I'm the Eagles. Eagles in the playoffs feels like a decent bet -225.
Sends it over to me. I'm going to be the first 49ers picker. I'm going to take the 49ers over the Eagles +188, going opposite of Braun. We got some competition.
Ooh,
2 for a read.
opposition.
All right. I'm gonna take. So I get both now, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Texans -164.
Yes.
First of all, I mean, this is just such a such an ethical matchup for me to take, right? The Texans full of all these guys we love, and Ed Ingram, and then the Steelers. And then no, I'll take the Rams minus 670. I don't trust you guys to make your bets. I'll make a couple of cents off of this one. Don't worry about it.
So you won't lose your
theory.
money, which might be the difference.
Yeah.
I would pay about $15. Yeah.
That's free
profit.
real estate.
You can't lose money making a profit.
Can you imagine getting 15% interest every weekend? Come on.
Love it. That's a good strategy. I'm going to go Bills. No one's taking the Bills. I'm just going to take the market inefficiency here. So that would be Bills.
Market inefficiency. Remember when I named a bunch of teams that didn't have receivers? I failed to name the Bills, but they're on the list.
Oh, that changes no, it doesn't change my mind. Braun.
This is an all-time bad receiver matchup for the playoffs, by the way. Like the Bills, Jaguars. It's Parker Washington.
Yeah, that's
and
another one I
guys.
just don't feel very like I know a lot about. I just don't want to touch it.
That's fair.
You cannot pick the Texans or the Rams.
Okay, well, that's not an issue. You know what? I'm with you, Sam. I have felt in my bones for months that this was going to end up with the Packers going into Soldier Field and winning. One by hook or by crook. So I'll take the Green Bay Packers.
You got it. Inman, you
Bo Melton winning
do it.
touchdown
Think you can
over
do
Deshaun
whatever
Watson.
you.
No,
You
hurt.
can't
He got hurt
do
in US Bank Stadium.
No Rams, no Patriots for you.
Why
Inman.
did we do
Okay.
that?
You guys are zigging. I'll zag. Bears minus 102.
Smart, honestly. That's
Taking the
good.
better quarterback.
Yeah. True. Well, Malik Willis is in Green Bay.
Well, yeah, but we know he's not playing, you know? It's like one of those, you know, when Barry Switzer said, don't injure Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders is behind him.
Two-toed sloth. I'll have you know I got second in our betting contest, so I like my strategy. That's the squad show for today. We'll be back on Monday. More coaching news, wild card round news. We'll see which of our former Vikings survived, and we'll have plenty more on the Vikings offseason. For Luke Inman, Arif Hasan, Luke Braun, I'm Sam Ekstrom. Talk to you next week. It's the squad show. See ya.